Hey, just want to do a quick little demo going through the install on your Jawa's Junkyard, red Mistress hilt. So we got this installed with a custom chassis in here, along with some pommel illumination as well as the switch LED illumination. And then there you also have your stock illuminated NeoPixel connector. So as you can see right now, when the saber is off, in the pommel we have this pulsating effect. And then to access the chassis, just unscrew the pommel section, revealing your custom kind of translucent red chassis over here. So part of the chassis is kind of embedded in the pommel. And then you kind of see the illuminated NeoPixel connector down there. Right now it's got the pulsating effect. So for both the pommel illumination as well as the switch illumination, I have it set statically on red because if you use any other colors, it kind of doesn't shine as well. Especially on colors like blue, it would just kind of mute the color. So in order to have the maximum brightness, we have it on red, like so. So going through the chassis itself, we have our translucent red chassis. We have our Proffie v3.9 there. Got an 18650 battery holder over here, marked negative and positive, which is a lot harder to see on the translucent chassis. But you have your spring side for the negative side of the battery, and the button side for the button top of the battery. So let's just set this off to the side. On the sides here, I actually designed a new PCB purely just for decoration. That way we have some more accent kind of styling on the chassis itself. So instead of baking the designs into the chassis design itself, I just kind of extracted it out, designed PCBs, kind of give some nice gold finish on it. Up there we have our chassis connector. This is a 6-rail to interface with the NeoPixel connector with blade detection, as well as styling the pixel behind the switch over here. So I'll go over that in a second. Off to the side, we have our boot button. So the way I have the Proffie set up is that the SD card is facing up, makes it a lot easier to access it. But as a result of that, the USB is now facing down and inaccessible. So to address that, I actually wired up to a USB-C port over here. So this is basically wired up to the micro USB port on the board itself, so you can handle data transfer, flashing the board, as well as slow charging, which is a built-in feature on the Proffie v3.9. To the side here, you have a kill switch, and then the back, we have another tactile switch. So this tactile switch actually mimics the same functionality as the main switch. That way you can kind of play with the chassis without needing the chassis in the saber. If you do need to flash the board and it's not showing up on Arduino, you can actually do the boot reset functionality by holding this external boot button here and then just toggling the kill switch. That would mimic the holding down the onboard boot button as well as toggling the reset button on the board. When inserting the battery, just insert it negative side first because my chassis has a lip there. It helps to hold the battery in a little bit tighter. So just slide that in, flip the kill switch on. And you also play around with the chassis without it needing to be in the hilt because you have this switch over here. So let's slide the chassis into the hilt. Because we're using a radial connector, it doesn't exactly matter which orientation you insert the chassis in, as long as you insert a connector side first. So just slide that in. You may feel some friction around here. You can just kind of safely push it all the way in. And then once that's in, you can just slide the pommel in. So screwing that all the way in. We got some gesture controls like swing on, as well as twist off. We have our button illumination there. So there's basically a pixel switch that I designed behind this shine through button over here. Got our stock illuminated NeoPixel connector in there. And then this hilt does take a 1-inch diameter blade, so I'm just gonna be using a 1-inch kind of dagger test blade. Sliding that in. And because the NeoPixel connector does have blade detection, you'll know when it's inserted all the way in. And then it also plays a sound when it's removed from the connector. So just slide that in and apply some pressure. And then the blade retention screw is back here. So this takes a 1.5 millimeter Allen key. Believe it's an M3 retention screw. So let me just tighten that up. And then to ignite it, just tap the button. You gotta do a smooth swing, action swing. But currently it's on the Darth Talon font. So let's cycle through the fonts. On a 1-button setup, to cycle through the fonts, you hold down the main button while the saber is pointed sideways, and then just release it. Flash on flash, blaster blocks. Let's cycle through the rest of the fonts.
Protoss.
So this is the Protoss font from your other sabers. It's using pretty much the exact same blade style as the ones we configured for your other ones.
The mouth saber.
Got the mouse saber here. So same as before, the same blade style on your other sabers.
I am Darth Talon.
And then back to Darth Talon. So there you have it. There's your Jawa's Junkyard Red Mistress installed with a Proffie v3.9 in a custom translucent red chassis. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. I'll have the config for the Proffie loaded onto SD card, and I'll also get that sent over to you. As always, thank you so much for letting me work on this, and may the Force be with you.